National Lottery Heritage Grants are for everyone. To give more people a chance to benefit from the work you do, we set some conditions on the digital materials you create. They must be available, accessible, and open. By open, we mean that digital materials and copyright are shared under a Creative Commons open license. So what counts as digital materials? It could be anything from environmental data to website content to learning resources. That covers things like text, audiovisual material, and metadata. Anything you produce in a digital format that helps people access or understand heritage. The digital materials your organisation creates are protected by copyright. Copyright is an automatic right that applies whenever you use labour, skill, or judgment to create an original work. Apart from a few exceptions, copyright restricts what others can do with your work without permission. To simplify copyright permissions for the digital age, Creative Commons has developed a set of open licenses. These licenses provide upfront permission that lets everyone use, adapt, or develop your digital materials free of charge, subject to certain conditions. There's no paperwork for you, and since open license terms are internationally recognised, clarity for people who want to use your work. We ask you to share your works in copyright under our default Creative Commons open license, or through an equivalent license. Our default license has a name and a shorthand code, both of which link to the standard online T's and C's. Our default license requires people who use your materials to give you credit, describe any changes, and link to the license. Graphically, the default license badge consists of two standard icons, CC and BY. They combine to form a Creative Commons badge that looks like this. There are other Creative Commons licenses, but you cannot use them for digital materials supported by a National Lottery Heritage Grant. In fact, you'd need our permission to apply for any other type of open license. Data and code, which are a different kind of digital asset, should be shared just as widely using open software licenses. Although Creative Commons licensing is straightforward, there's more to it than we can cover in this short video. To help you make the most of open licensing, we have plenty of helpful guidance. The beauty of open licenses is that they free up materials for more people to use or enjoy. Sharing expands access to heritage and paves the way for innovative uses of your digital work. It's good for you too, as you develop your heritage project, and good for others who follow in your footsteps. You save time and money when you draw on materials that other organisations have already produced, or combine them with your own work to create something entirely new and unexpected. Other organisations can then draw on the materials that you develop. It's the inventiveness with which people make connections between sets of open license materials that generates new insights or fresh ways of visualising and sharing heritage, or maybe entirely new collections or services. Education and science benefit too. Schools and universities can use your materials to create learning resources, while scientists and citizen science initiatives can tap into your knowledge to develop programmes that take your work further. An open license can also help you gain a wider audience for your work through sharing on open knowledge platforms. In short, open licenses make heritage more accessible, more collaborative, and more useful. They increase public engagement, foster collaboration, and unleash creativity. And they encourage more people to give you credit for the work you do, and to thank National Lottery players for funding it. Open licenses also support our own aims, especially the 4 investment principles behind our Heritage 2033 strategy. Those principles are saving heritage, protecting the environment, inclusion, access and participation, and organisational sustainability. Let's look at them one by one. The creation of digital materials is often a vital way of helping to record and protect a physical original. Sharing through open licenses ensures that the digital heritage resources we support are open, accessible, and discoverable by future generations. Sharing also reduces the risk of loss by enabling the creation of duplicates and derivatives held in multiple locations. Since each copy bears an attribution, researchers know where to look for the original. Even better, machine-readable open licenses simplify indexing and discovery. They help researchers find specialist resources and put them to good use. The more environmental data that heritage organisations share, the easier it is for researchers to analyse and understand environmental threats and to find solutions. Open licenses expand the sector's collective environmental knowledge, while sharing allows more people to work together to protect the UK's environmental and biodiversity heritage. Digital sharing is a great way to make heritage more accessible and enjoyable for a wider audience. It gives more people a chance to engage with your work, especially those who are unable to visit your project in person. Sharing via an open license goes even further. It lets people adapt your materials in ways that are accessible to people with disabilities or learning difficulties, or to translate them into other languages. By giving permission for adaptations and reinventions, you increase the ways in which people can benefit from heritage. Sharing resources via open licenses can help organisations extend their reach and increase resilience. Many of the world's leading institutions, including many here in the UK, already share resources through open licenses. As you develop your own heritage project, you'll save time and money by building on what others have already produced. And you can use openly licensed work to develop new materials, new ways of presenting older material, and new streams of income. In this complex, interconnected world, Creative Commons licenses are good for the teams that share their work, good for the heritage sector in general, and good for heritage audiences. With open licenses, everyone can do more with the heritage they love, and everyone gets credit for the work they do. To learn more about open licenses and the Heritage Fund's default Creative Commons license, visit our website.